Welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into the topic of Formula 1 sprint races. As the pinnacle of motorsport, Formula 1 has always been known for pushing the boundaries of speed and technology. But recently, the sport introduced a thrilling new format, the F1 sprint race. Now, if you're not familiar with this format, let me give you a quick rundown. Sprint races are shorter, more intense showdowns that take place on Saturday. With a distance of around 100 kilometers, they're action-packed and put drivers under immense pressure to perform their best from start to finish. They were introduced during the 2021 season as a new format for qualifying. The sprint races decided your starting position on Sunday, which made it a crucial part of the race weekend. It involved a lot of risks because there was a lot on the line. But for the 2023 season, they changed the way it worked. We got our first taste at Baku GP and we now have an idea how it works. On Friday, we start with practice 1 as always. And later in the day, we get to see the qualifying for the main race on Sunday. This rounds up the first day of the weekend. On Saturday, we start with a qualifying session for the sprint race, which takes place later that day. This qualifying session has the name Sprint Shootout. At the end of the day, we have the sprint race. And at last, the main race takes place on Sunday like it has been for decades. Now, here comes the interesting part. During the first seasons, when sprint races were introduced, they were used as a qualifying session for the main race. But this isn't the case anymore. Now, it's a separate event that doesn't have a direct influence on the main race. It's just an extra race during the weekend, which sounds amazing for the fans, but we get into that later. Every driver in the top 8 gets awarded points. First place gets 8 points, second gets 7, and so on until 8th position. At the moment there is a debate if sprint races should stay or if they should be removed forever. We'll look into the positives and negatives of the format and we hope you can come to a conclusion at the end. One of the biggest positives of F1 sprint races is the added excitement it brings to the fans. Traditional qualifying sessions on Saturday determine the starting order for the Sunday race, but they often lack the wheel-to-wheel action that fans crave. Sprint races, on the other hand, provide a compact dose of intense racing right in the middle of the weekend. These sprint races give fans the opportunity to witness incredible overtakes, fierce battles and nail-biting moments, all packed into a shorter time frame. The condensed nature of the sprint race created a sense of urgency, pushing drivers to take risks and make bold moves, resulting in thrilling wheel-to-wheel action. Just imagine the atmosphere in the grandstands as the cars fly by, inches apart, battling for position. The roar of the engines, the screeching tires and the gasps from the crowd create an electrifying experience that leaves fans on the edge of their seats. The sprint races inject a new level of adrenaline into the race weekend, captivating both die-hard fans and casual viewers alike. While F1 sprint races bring undeniable excitement, they also come with some potential negatives that need to be considered. One of the primary concerns raised by teams and drivers is the lack of setup running due to the reduced number of practice sessions. In a traditional race weekend, teams have multiple practice sessions to fine-tune their cars, gather data and make necessary adjustments to maximize performance. However, with the introduction of sprint races, teams now have only one practice session before diving straight into qualifying and the sprint race itself. The limited setup running in F1 sprint races raises questions about how teams adapt and optimize their cars for maximum performance. It challenges their ability to find the right balance between taking risks and making informed decisions under time constraints. When it comes to F1 sprint races, it's important to consider the potential risks involved. One of the significant concerns is the increased risk of crashes due to the intensified racing and heightened pressure on the drivers. Sprint races condense the action into a shorter time frame, resulting in more wheel-to-wheel battles and aggressive overtaking attempts. While this adds excitement for the fans, it also raises the possibility of an on-track incident and collision. Another factor to consider in the context of sprint races is the influence of the cost cap implemented in Formula 1. The cost cap limits the amount of money teams can spend, aiming to level the playing field and enhance competition. However, the condensed nature of sprint races can place additional strain on the teams to manage their resources effectively. And because of these sprint races, there are more races in a season than before, but with less money to deal with. As we near the end of our discussion on sprint races, it's time to weigh the pros and cons and address the question: should sprint races stay or not? On one hand, sprint races undeniably bring a renewed level of excitement and intensity to Formula 1. The condensed format provides fans with a thrilling showcase of wheel-to-wheel action, overtakes and unpredictable moments that keep us on the edge of our seats. The sprint races inject a fresh dose of adrenaline into the race weekend, captivating both die-hard fans and casual viewers alike. Some positive responses to sprint races highlights their potential to enhance the overall viewing experience and attract new audiences to the sport. The excitement and unpredictability of these races leave a lasting impression, creating an electric atmosphere that fans can't resist. However, we must also consider the challenges and drawbacks that come with sprint races. The reduced setup running limits teams' ability to optimize their cars and adapt to the specific demands of each circuit. The increased risk of crashes and the influence of the cost cap add additional complexities and pressure for teams and drivers to navigate. Ultimately, the decision on whether sprint races should stay or not is a complex one. It requires a careful balance between the desire for excitement and the need for fair competition, cost management and driver safety. In the end, it is crucial for Formula 1 to evaluate the impact of sprint races based on a holistic view, considering feedback from teams, drivers and fans. Continual assessment and adjustment of the format will be essential to strike the right balance and ensure the long-term success of this innovative addition to the race weekend. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into F1 sprint races. Remember to share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more motorsport content. Until next time.